The St. Louis Cardinals have called up former top prospect Jordan Walker back to the majors after being on a tear for the last month. We're covering Walker and more on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominic Martino. You can find me on Twitter at DomMartinoFB. Here, as always, is my brother, my co-host, my partner in crime, Matthew Ane, and you can find him on Twitter at Matthew_Ane. If you're listening on a platform like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly, truly appreciate it if you could do that for us. And if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. It subscribes to the channel and gives notification every time we drop a new episode. And lastly, most importantly, to Matt and I, guys, join us on the Subtext platform. Through Subtext, it's an in-depth, personalized experience through text messaging alerts right to your phone, offering so much more than we can in this 30-minute podcast. And guys, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as the playoffs wind down. The sports stop sporting as we want them to, but you can keep it going this summer with FanDuel because they are hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day. All summer long, visit FanDuel.com to get started today. And guys, some great names at the top. Matt, I don't even think we can hide this one. Big news. Jordan Walker making his way back to the bigs. And if you guys listen to the podcast at all, you know Matt and I are major fans. Matt, even a little bit more so than myself. So, Matt, why don't you take the wheel here, sir?
All right. So, Jordan Walker here. So, I am tentatively hesitant. I'm approaching with Jordan Walker. I will add him because of what he's done over the last 28 games, honestly. You know, he's had 80 at-bats. He's had 14 runs. He's had 6 doubles, 3 triples, 5 bombs, 9 ribs. Walked 6 times to 20 strikeouts. Not my favorite, but batting 300, OBP of 352, a slug of 588, and an OPS of 940. Great stats, great numbers. I just, you look at his season totals where he only has 9 home runs on the whole season. And, yes, he's batting 250. He's hot right now, sure. But, last time he came up to the bigs, he kind of choked. He did have a better second half after being recalled last time. Maybe it's just the magic that needs to happen. So, like, if you're going to go out and add him, which, he might be worth the stash, I'm going to say this. Don't expect much. You might have to be patient if you're in, like, a keeper league or something of the sort. And honestly, too, like, if he doesn't hit right away, I'm straight up dropping him. I honestly need to see what the last month's trend is he's been doing in the minors to continue here. Otherwise, we're just going to say he's a Jared Kelenic. And, you're just going to say, okay, cool. He's just never going to be who he lived up to. Yes, the kid is 21 and he's, still developing. But at this point with the draft prospect pedigree and all that wonderful stuff, you just got to look at it like this. Jordan Walker needs to hit now or he's never going to hit, in my opinion. So just be cautious. Don't expect much. And, be very conservative with your approach.
Damn, Matt. So I think the love for Jordan Walker sounds like it's gone.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not the if he doesn't hit now, he's never going to hit. Just kind of hit me right in the feels because I know how much you love Jordan Walker, but that does say a lot about where we're at with him, especially this time of year. This time of year isn't the time of year to hold a guy like Jordan Walker until the championship week, and then you turn around and he hasn't hit a home run in 2 weeks and he's batting 175 with the last 2 weeks. No, it's if he doesn't hit over the next couple of weeks here, I think we cut bait with him, Matt. That is, I think, the right way to put it. But there's so much upside with Jordan Walker. He's only 28% owned. The St. Louis Cardinals are bringing him back up for a reason. He's homered in his last 2 games in the minors. Over his last 16, he's batting 343 with 5 homers. So, as Matt mentioned, Jordan Walker's really, really been on a tear. A lot of upside. Don't forget, this guy was ranked in prospect list as little as 2 years ago, right next to Ellie De La Cruz and guys like that. And he was
higher than Ellie.
Yeah, he was a top 5 prospect consensus, as short as 2 years ago. So Jordan Walker, lots of upside here. One of my favorite names that we're talking about today, officially back in the majors. 5 outfielder leagues, and it only is a must add for sure. Anything shallower than that, take a look at your roster. If you got some fat that needs to be trimmed, for sure, add Jordan Walker. A lot of upside as far as power, speed, RBIs as well, depending on where he hits in that lineup. I think he's hitting 7th in his debut today as we're recording here on Sunday, August 12th. So let's see where things go with Walker, but I really, really do like the prospects of him here. Let's move on to guys that officially have not got called up yet. Some more top prospects that we might see sooner or later. Want to familiarize yourself with the names. Let's move on to the number 2 prospect in all of the MLB, Junior Camero. I love me some Junior Camero. If you're not familiar, he plays for those Tampa Bay Rays. A big guy in 6'1", but he's only 157. I would love to see him put on a little bit more weight. If he got up to 175, of straight muscle, it'd be really, really great because Caminero already has a lot of power. In the minors last year, Caminero was absolutely dominant. I'm going to read off the 2023 stats for him here. A 324 batting average, over 117 games, 85 runs, 18 doubles, 6 triples, 31 homers, 94 RBIs, 42 walks to 100 strikeouts, and he stole 5 bags. And don't forget, he did that as a 20-year-old. I mean, this kid is going to be really, really good. A lot of pop, 70 grade power, has even a plus hit tool at a 60 grade. So I think this is a guy that can be, in his prime. I think like a similar to an Adrian Beltre, where he could hit like a 300 batting average with 30 plus homers. And if Caminero gets called up, it's instant impact. He got his little cup of coffee in 2023 at 235 over 7 games with a homer and 7 RBIs. Actually, that's not that bad, for a young kid getting called up, held his own. So I would love to see him get, a shot here over the course of the last month. The majors, once again, Junior Caminero. I'm keeping my eyes on him, not adding him yet, but I'm definitely adding him to my watch list for now.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, everything you said, is pretty much just 100% true. I mean, Caminero's upside can be absolutely insane. I think he's somebody that didn't really get the true opportunity. I'm actually surprised he's not up now. It's actually really surprising. But at the same time, it's all about control with Tampa. They're in no rush. It's not like they have Juan DeFranco out there and there's a window because he messed up his whole life. And then they traded away pretty much the whole team. So, why call him up now? If anything, he is September call up because what's going to happen is they're going to struggle to get people in the stands. So Caminero getting the call up kind of makes sense soon. So I am definitely trying to stash him now if he's out there in leagues because man, he could seriously be a difference maker going down the stretch. I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw exactly what the Martian did last year, minus the stolen bases. The power numbers, the runs and all that wonderful stuff will come in full in droves. So Junior Caminero needs to be added. But let's move on. Let's talk about Samuel Basalo. I believe is how we say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plays for the Baltimore Orioles minor league system. He is awesome. He's the number 12 prospect on the right now. And, I've been hearing too, he's been playing a lot of first base, which is great because that would be the only way that he's going to make it on the field because he's not going to, outplay Adley Rutschman at this point. So Basalo needed to switch positions. He's playing good first base. First base is one of the easiest positions in baseball. So, it shouldn't be hard for a catcher to transition. And I mean, when you're a catcher, you're pretty much athletic as hell. So it should be a great transition. He has a lot of power. He has 15 home runs on the season to 355 at bats. Runs and ribbies are there, batting 300. He's doing great. This last month has been okay. He's only hit about 2 home runs on the season, but he still looks, I mean, on the season, on the month, but you know what? Last 90 days, he's had 10 home runs, which is absolutely incredible. Pretty much 3.5 home runs a month, 32 ribs in total, batting 308 on the month. I love it all around. This kid has a lot of upside. He's very young too. The dude is literally 19 years old. So we could be looking at like a Juan Soto plus here. if he actually does get the call the same way to Double A all the way to the bigs, there is that world of expectation with this kid. And if he starts getting even hotter than what he's been doing now, I swear they're going to call him up just in time for the playoffs to see if they can get that edge on the competition. Coming up next is going to be Dom's take on Basalo and a whole bunch of other prospects that you truly need to know about. So stick around. It's summertime, which means it's barbecue season. Stock up on all your favorite grill favorites and earn cash back on every purchase whenever you use Ibata. So you know you won't have to choose between burgers or hot dogs. You can get both. Sandals, sunscreen, snacks for the kids, whatever you do, whatever you have, whatever has in common, you'll probably be buying a ton of it this summer. But don't stress about the cost. Use Ibata and get cash back on every purchase when you stock up on all your summer essentials. Ibata is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Earn earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, a flight you've been eyeing, a fancy dinner you've been craving. You can save over with over 2,400 brands and shop over 1,000 different realtors. Um, Include your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Right now, Ibotta is offering listeners $5 for trying Ibotta and using the code Locked On MLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app, and start today earning cash back and use the code Locked On MLB. That's IBOTTA in Google Play or App Store and use the code Locked On MLB. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as playoffs wind down, as we get fewer games, as the sports just aren't sporting like we want them to. You know, football's not here yet. We're kind of in this lull, still waiting to see before teams really clinch. So, you got to go to FanDuel and keep it interesting, right? You can bet on whatever you want, how you want. I do it all the time, right? All I do is I open up the app, I dream up a bet anytime, anything I'm in the mood for, right? And I just say, boom, here you go. I'm gonna bet on the Yanks. I'm gonna bet on, Juan Soto, having a home run and a rib and so on and so forth or whatever. And boom, I win some money. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking it all customers up with a boost and a bonus literally daily. That's right, daily. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to fanduel.com and make the most out of your summer and make those bets count. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have you had to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all that screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or free on the Amazon Fire TV channel app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Introducing the Locked On Fantasy Baseball Podcast Diamond Club on Subtext, your ultimate fantasy baseball companion as the season unfolds. Rely on our dynamic content. Get real-time alerts right to your phone, including waiver wire rankings, instant call-up notifications, injury actions, and a whole lot more. Stay ahead of your fantasy leagues by joining the Diamond Club on Subtext, where your path to victory begins. Subscribe now and elevate your fantasy baseball experience to new levels, and new members get a free 2 weeks. So make sure to check out the link in the description below and try us out for 2 weeks. I promise you won't want to leave us. You'll be asking us so many questions. We're going to want you to leave. So please check us out, and we got you every time. All right, Dom, how you feeling? What do you think about Basalo?
I like Basabe as well, and it's great that you mentioned that the Orioles are moving him around down there, trying to find another spot for him because he's just not going to play catcher in the bigs, as you mentioned, my brother. But you know what? He's got power. He's got a little bit of speed. He's not very fast, but he's willing to steal bases. He has 9 steals this year in the minors. Basabe does. Basalo's actually, now that Jackson Holliday's gotten called up, the top prospect left in the Orioles system, according to MLB.com. And also, if you take Jackson Holliday out of the mix, Basabe is actually the 10th prospect in all of the MLB, once again, according to MLB.com. So I love me some Basabe. I don't know if he gets the call this year. Once again, maybe it's a cup of coffee. These are just names that we want to familiarize ourselves with in case they do get the call. So you say, oh, I remember Dom and Matt talked about them. Let me give them the chance. If not, we remember them for next year going into, the spring training. Basabe is the guy who might be competing for a spot. So once again, just a name to remember. Let's keep things pushing though. Of course, Matt, jump back in, brother. Yeah.
Honestly, I think all it's going to take is Mountcastle to go down to injury.
Yeah, that's it.
And he's up. But anyway, let's go on.
Yeah, let's move. This is actually a more immediate impact move. Let's talk about Zebby Matthews of the Minnesota Twins. He actually has gotten the call. He is going to start Tuesday, August 13th, as you are listening to this. It's not a great start initially for Zebby Matthews. Kind of a tough spot with Bobby Witt and Vinny Pasquantino hitting the way they are. And I will say this too: Zebby Matthews does have great numbers on the season. It is a 2.60 ERA, 6 wins, 3 losses over 17 starts, 97 innings, 114 strikeouts with batters hitting 212 against him and an 0.8 whip. Matthews is known for his control. He has a very good, well, not a very good fastball, but a plus fastball, plus cutter, mixes in a slider as well. He's 6'5", 225. I love to see that. I will say this, though. As I started to look deeper into these numbers, he got moved up to AAA 4 starts ago, and he struggled. He has struggled a little bit. So 2 out of his last 3 starts, he allowed 5 runs and 4 runs respectively. His last start was solid, though, where he threw 5 innings, got 5 strikeouts, gave up 1 earned run. Once again, Zebby Matthews is who we are talking about here. He's 8% owned. I'll say this. I'll give the kid the shot, especially if he goes out there and he pitches good against Kansas City. Sometimes with guys like this that, do have some talent, when they get called up, it takes teams a while to figure them out. So we could see Matthews go on a stretch of like 4 or 5 starts where he looks really good. And, hey, then you're biting the championship already, and Zebby Matthews has helped lead you there. Not saying that he's going to do that, but there is a world where that happens. Let's see who his start after Kansas City is. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like Texas. It looks like he's going to wind up with Texas. That matchup isn't as scary as it was at the beginning of the year, so not a bad spot. Like in deeper leagues, you're probably not going to do too much better off the waiver wire at the moment, so we can give Zebby Matthews at least a chance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not rolling them out, tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow,
not doing
today. But way I look at it is, because I mean, like you're definitely not going. You're not going to get the ball around Vinny Pasquantino. This dude has literally just had the best month. Oh my god, so glad I drafted him everywhere. You're welcome, everybody. Anyway. Zebby Matthews, I think, for next week, even though, Texas actually has been better, I think, with Young coming back in the lineup and with Simeon, too, it's a little bit tougher of a lineup. And, even Seager's been hitting the cover off the ball. So it isn't like a slouch of a matchup. It's probably doable. But let's see how he handles Kansas City. If he manages to get out of Kansas City without a scratch, or at least, not having like a 4.5 ERA or higher, then Zebby Matthews is worth the consideration for next week. And we could talk about it and readjust.
Real quick. The Rangers have 3-7 in the last 10, though. So I'll ask this: if Zebby goes out and he does good against KC, I'll feel at least a little bit comfortable throwing him out there against the Rangers.
Sure, I mean I get that, but see, the thing is, like, wins versus translation of how the pitcher can do is 2 different things, because we only care about one game. So, like, 2 of these guys get relatively decent, stat lines in the same game, and you're really upset. And that lineup's pretty rough. Even if Adola is playing as bad as he is, still can cause some issues for him. So I just the lineup's deep enough, and Young too, I think is about one home run away from catching fire, because he already looks fantastic. Just traded for him too. Zebby Matthews is somebody that, like, it's going to be a risky start, but I think he might even be a 2-start pitcher because of when he's pitching now. If he doesn't pitch Sunday, he'll probably get 2. He'll probably go Monday and the end of the weekend. So we'll probably get a double take. But anyway, coming up next, we got Marcelo Mayor of the Boston Red Sox, Spencer Jones of the New York Yankees, and then some guys that are hurt right now that may be worth stashing or at least keeping in the back of your head. So you'll be back right after this.
Get supplies from the site that's made for skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door. With fast shipping from coast to coast, need help with an order, get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. And folks, let's keep things moving here. Let's talk about Marcelo Mayor of the Boston Red Sox. And Mayor actually just did get the promotion from AA to AAA, and for good reason, folks. Marcelo Mayor, once again playing for those Boston Red Sox, was hitting .307 over 77 games with 60 runs, 28 doubles, 8 homers, 38 RBIs, 30 walks to 66 strikeouts with 13 steals. Mayer's always been an interesting one for me. He's always been a little bit lower on my prospect radar than most other experts. But, I'm starting to grow on him again. Mayer is known for his plus hit tool. He's got a little bit of pop, willing to steal. Once again, not somebody that's going to blow you away with their speed, but he will steal bases here and there. I honestly think Boston is not far from calling up a bunch of their prospects. I think at this point, they kind of just want to see what they have. They will call a lot of these guys up, once they have that extra year of control, which is we're not very far away from that. And Mayer could be one of those guys. And, it's just reminiscent of when Corbin Carroll and Gunnar Henderson got called up late in the year, a couple of years ago, and helped lead teams to fantasy championships because, they both hit well down the stretch, stole some bases, hit some homers, and just names like Mayer and Basabe and, names we're going to talk about later are just ones you got to pay attention to and make sure you're aware of because Mayer specifically has been on a tear. If he gets the call, can have some heavy fantasy baseball impact.
Yeah, I like Mayer. I wasn't as low as you've been. Honestly, I've been pretty in on him. I've had him ranked pretty high. I like the upside. I like what the kid could do. And, 21 years old, the sky's the limit with the prospect pedigree. And the fact that they just promoted their 3 top prospects to AAA, I think you're 100% right. They're getting ready to just unload and say, "Hey guys, like we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this right, and we're gonna get every single prospect up and see what we got." It's exciting.
Mayer is 6. Mayer's number 6 prospect according to MLB.com in all of baseball. So that's big reason to be aware of him.
Yeah, absolutely. He you know what? The name is oh yeah, I got it. You know who he reminds me of, honestly? Anthony Benintendi.
Okay, I can see that. That's a good comp.
Like 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, good batting average with the upside to, pop a little bit better, right? So like that's a good floor. And then on top of that, if everybody hits in that lineup, he's going to be very, very dangerous. And
that's not a lot of your prospects, like you said.
Yeah, like it's things can get very interesting for Mayer. And the fact that he's only 21 years old, that power ceiling I just put on him is not a cap. It's more of just like a baseline. I think that's what he is. And, we saw Benintendi hit 30 home runs at one point or get damn near close. Mayer could do that. So, like, obviously it's not going to be this year, but Mayer has that upside and he could be impactful upon call up. Let's move on to a guy that I actually think is probably could be very explosive if he gets the call, and that's Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones, I'm a fan of. I really am, and not just because I'm a Yankee fan. The bias is beyond that. 369 at bats this year, 57 runs, 19 doubles, 3 triples, 14 bombs, 60 ribs, 21 stolen bases, batting 249. OBP of 334, a slug of 431, an OPS of 765. This is in Double A, and I'm digging it. I think that I'm not really sure if he gets the call. That's the only thing that kind of just holds me back. But he's somebody we need to be aware of. If he does get the call, I'm going to try and add him pretty much instantly. But I think if the Martian comes back first, he's the one that's taking that outfield spot. And then Spencer Jones is just going to have to get figured out or probably get traded next year. So it's just a matter of time, because I think we should be hearing on what Dominguez's outlook is going to be, if they're even going to bring him up, if they're even going to try and give him a rehab starter or not, because that should be coming, I think, by the end of next week, because he's already been out. They said 8 weeks. This was, before the All-Star break. So here we go. So he's more of like the lowest priority, lowest one. You're not stashing him, but if we hear that they're not that Dominguez isn't going to play this season, then Spencer Jones 100% moves up my stash board.
Yeah, so a big reason I did put Spencer Jones on this one. First of all, the Yankees have kind of came and said that, and this was like a quote from, I believe, a day ago. There's like currently no, I believe it's the quote was, there's no lane for Jason Dominguez at the moment. I mean, I know it would apply to Spencer Jones as well, but with Dominguez's injury and him, just like not don't risk it. I think it's a don't risk it for the biscuit kind of move with Dominguez. Like, let him get his feet under him before we bring him back up. But Spencer Jones, over his last 17 games, last 62 at-bats, 9 runs, 5 doubles, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, 13 walks, 26 strikeouts, and he's batting .307 with 3 steals over that time. So Jones does seem like he's ready, and I think the Yankees are an injury or two away from. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me today, but I think they're literally an injury or two away from having to be in a position to take a look at a guy like Spencer Jones, who's been raking. And if you guys aren't familiar with Spencer Jones, he's cut from the same cloth of Aaron Judge, 6'6", 235 for Spencer Jones. So one of those big beefy baseball boys that if he does figure it out, he hits the ball very hard and it can go a long way. And if he gets into that, that middle of the Yankees lineup, even like in the 6th hole, a lot of RBI opportunities. So Spencer Jones is a name we want to keep our eye on. But let's move in. We have a couple of injured stash guys for you guys. We're going to try and move through these ones a little bit quicker. Casey Mize is working his way back, former number 1 overall pick. I know we're getting a little bit of fatigue with a guy like Casey Mize, but he is out on his rehab assignment. He got his first outing last Thursday. He struck out 2 batters, allowed 3 hits and 1 walk over 2.1 scoreless innings, 6 whiffs on 15 swings. Actually, fastball looks good, sat at about 94. When Casey Mize is right and he's doing his thing, he's a guy that can suppress runs. He'll never be a K/9 kind of guy, but also has good control, so the whip can be good, especially pitching in Detroit is a great part. Mize is 5% owned, probably a deeper league cut for now.
Yeah, definitely deeper league. I'm not adding him in shallow leagues. So look at him in 14 and 15 and 16 man leagues. Other than that, I'm not bothering. But I do want to get to Brooks Lee of the Minnesota Twins. Prospect, he got called this year, and honestly, it took him a little bit of time to get going, and then he started getting going. Obviously, didn't show off the power that I think he has, but then obviously went down to bicep issues. They just gave him a cortisone shot literally today, and he's going to miss several weeks, but several weeks could be 3-4 weeks, and then he's back. He comes back and comes up. The way he was performing right before he got hurt had all the signs of trending up in the right direction. I think he's definitely somebody I'm not really like stashing in my IL and wasting an IL spot, but I start seeing that he's going to make his way back or he gets a rehab start. That's when I'm going to press the add button to the IL. If you don't have an IL spot, don't even bother looking at him.
Matt, I'm with you on Lee, and on Yahoo, he's only 10% owned. He's second, third, and short eligible. So honestly, could be a good stash in those deeper leagues if you do have that spot. I do want to touch on Clark Schmidt before we leave. I know we've been talking about Clark Schmidt for a while, but he is somebody that is inching closer and closer The last quote on Clark Schmidt from Brian Cashman is that he will begin a rehab assignment August 22nd, and he is going to be back second week of September. I really like Clark Schmidt on the year. 11 starts, 5 wins, 2.52 ERA, 114 whip, 60 innings, 67 strikeouts. He was finally breaking out. He has elite stuff, 46% owned on Yahoo. Honestly, he is a mustache for me.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Honestly, I have nothing left to say. I'll sneak this last guy in, Nolan Jones of the Colorado Rockies. Absolute stud. Hopefully he can stay on the field this time once he does make it back to the lineup. You know, it's just been a very Chris Bryant year for him, and he needs to just, maybe spread some sage, I don't know, say a couple prayers, do something to just like even go see an exorcist to like just get it out, get the injury of demons out and say peace out. Nolan Jones has fantastic upside, power, speed combo with average. Love him, stash him everywhere if he's out there. But guys, Dom, you have anything else?
49% owned on Yahoo for Nolan Jones.
Thank you. Guys, please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. I know you love us so much. When you're done listening here, you want to go check out Sully on Locked On MLB. He's great. You'll find him on YouTube or wherever you may podcast. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
See you.